sweltering heat pervades the room. The students and teachers alike are in an almost delirious state. I just want to stand up and walk out of here without caring what the teacher or anyone else says. I can see I'm not the only one with these faults too. Next to me, Misha is shamelessly holding her skirt up a bit and fanning air in with her notebook. Only Shizune seems to be as cool as always, sitting with her back perfectly straight, arms folded on her chest, her eyes fixed on the equation scrawled on the blackboard. I keep shooting, yearning glances at my watch, but doesn't help the time go by any faster. You see, the thing is, Hisao, when it comes to being impatient with time, looking at the time somehow makes time feel a lot slower. I mean, if you're doing something, time just goes freaking flying by, usually. But if you're just staring at time, it just like feels like, man, this has been the longest minute of my life or something. Time just feels really, really, really slow. It's funny, I remember how badly I wanted to get out of hospital and go back to school. Now all I can think of is the upcoming summer vacation and freedom from classes and homework. Perhaps it's human nature to think only of the situation at hand. Finally the bell rings. Relieved, my classmates and I burst out into the hallway, already crowded by students from our neighbouring classes. I spot Emmy's diminutive figure nearby and walk up to her. Hey there! She smiles sweetly, clearly happy to see me. So, what's up? Is your classroom super hot too? You know, that's the thing, my room is also freaking boiling compared to some of the other rooms in the house. Which really didn't help with the damn cold, you know, because I felt dehydrated the whole time. I had the fan on all the time as well. Well, I usually do, but even more so than like I usually just have it on 1. I had it on 3. Here it is, I thought it was gonna melt in there. Nothing else is really happening though. Feeling a bit weird now that Rin's on her great adventure or whatever you want to call it. Emmy's face cracks in a wider smile and she jumps up and down enthusiastically. Isn't it great? I'm so happy for her. I bet everyone will like her paintings and she'll sell a lot of them and make piles of money. Yeah, I'm sure it'll work out great. I'm totally sulking at her though. She huffs angrily and places her hands firmly on her hips, even letting a little anger seep into her voice. It doesn't quite have the impact she's probably hoping for, but I say nothing. Why's that? She said that she doesn't want me to go see her. Oh yeah, she mentioned that. I guess she prefers not to be distracted. I can understand that. I don't think I'm that much of a distraction. Besides, I'm sure she'll forget about sleeping and eating properly if someone's not there telling her to do it. Sometimes she's like that. Gets completely fixated on whatever and drops everything else. It really makes me worried, you know. Is she gonna be alright? Such friendship. That dialogue. Such friendship. Wow. I wonder if she thinks I'm annoying. I'm pretty sure that's not the case at all. May shakes her head, looking amused. I'm not sure if she's joking or not. She has these weird ideas about a lot of stuff. Things just make sense to her in a totally different way than they do to me. I can't even remember all the weird stuff she's talked about all the time. Well, who would, really? I mean, do you keep a list just like, okay, Rin said a weird thing? Well, she usually says weird things, so if we were to write them down, it would take up a lot of books. I don't think Rin does either, really. She's the type who would forget in her own head if it wasn't tapped on her shoulders. That's why I just can't leave her alone. Is that weird? She leans against the wall, managing to look distraught, yet still cheerful as always. I get a strange feeling about it, as though I was talking to 2 people at the same time. How would I know? Everyone's weird in some way, but if that's yours, it's a very nice way. At least I can understand what you're talking about, unlike Rin. Wait. Hisao, you're just... He sometimes goes from lack of understanding to understanding. In this case, he's like, yeah, everyone's weird in some way. True, everyone's weird in their own way. everyone's different. They're just like, not everyone's the same, essentially. That's understanding, but then he'll contradict it from time to time. He's like, I just like, why can't you be like normal people? It's like, but you just said everyone's weird in some way. Most of the time, I have no idea what's going on inside her head either. Emmy giggles, nodding in agreement. I think it's okay even if you don't understand her. That's how she usually is. Emmy stands up straighter, brushing the hem of her shirt and straightening the waistline. She laughs awkwardly. Wow, we ended up talking pretty seriously. What's up with you, Hisao? Why'd you bring this up? Oh, sorry, I didn't really mean to get into this sort of discussion now. I don't know, I've had this weird feeling lately in my brain. I don't know why. I feel a bit guilty bringing up something like this for no reason except my own anxiety. It'll be fine, don't worry about it. Suddenly, Emmy clutches my wrist and twists it so she can see what time it is from my watch. Oh damn, this late already? I should really go. There's a meeting with the rest of the track team at the field. It's not gonna be fun in this heat. We're gonna sweat like pigs, but I promised I'd be there. Bye-bye. She skips downstairs, leaving me wondering if what I said, or what Rin said rather, hurt her or not. Maybe what Emmy herself said hurt her the most, comes to that. So in the end, even the person closest to Rin is just as far apart from her as everyone else. I wonder if Rin herself ever feels that distance. I felt like I was drifting away from the world too during my hospitalization. I felt anxious and depressed, and even now I sometimes still do, but I fight against it with all I've got. If Rin has been on that side of the divide for her whole life, I can't imagine how she could not be lonely, but perhaps she's truly different. I refuse to belong to that other place, but maybe she's found comfort there. Like Emmy, I have a club meeting of my own, so I head straight to the art club room at the end of the hallway. Only a few members are present today, so the mood's even more laid back than usual. Rin is off working on her expedition project, but I wonder if the rest are simply just playing hooky, defeated by the heat. I half-assedly sketch something with a piece of graphite or whatever, but do a poor job of it. My fingertips are turning pitch black from holding the graphite and smudging it on the paper, accidentally and on purpose. I've improved a little, but Rin's level is still far beyond my reach. Eventually, Namaya comes in and makes his way around the room, checking on what we're doing and giving comments on the works in progress. He stops behind me and bends close to look at my poor sketch. Tried to take a few pointers from Tezuka, have you? Well, I've looked at how she draws, but I haven't exactly asked for advice, no. Let's see here. He casually picks up the piece of graphite from my hand and lightly draws some faint, barely visible lines over my sketch to illustrate places that need improvement. I already feel frustrated about not seeing the obvious flaws before, but with a couple of careless, seeming flicks of the wrist, Namaya has made them plain as day. Straightening up, he throws a sideways glance at the seat where Rin usually sits. Such a nostalgic feeling, almost like a bird flying from the nest. I'll miss Tezuka when she graduates. It begins from here, you know. Nearly makes my eyes a little misty. Ah, man, the voice I do for Namaya is doing the number on my throat as well. Do you really think she has a chance to make her a big break with the expedition? Namaya turns, looks up from my sketch, adjusting his glasses. He rubs his chin, looking contemplative. Why not? It's like she's going to be... no, it's not like she's going to be an overnight smash hit or anything. But getting the word out there is very important. Connections are pure gold. Maybe the most important thing to gain if she is to become an artist. Word of mouth is very powerful in these circles. Tends to be the thing, really, isn't it? Like, if you don't have connections, you're screwed in that case. She has some advantages, like her young age and technique. You know, the feat. People will be naturally curious about extraordinary things like that. His words have an unpleasant ring to them. Isn't that just exploiting her disability to make her more popular? It sounds fishy. Oh, no, it's not like that at all. Give me a drink here. No, the fact I can't even do his frickin' voice properly is proof that I still have a bit of the leftover from that frickin' cold or flu do whatever. It's not like that at all. Think of it from another perspective, like an artist. A con artist, perhaps. Would you rather have Tezuka hide herself completely from public view, as if her condition were something shameful? Some people will call it exploitation if we promote that aspect, or discrimination if we hide it. All considered, we're just being honest about it. There's nothing wrong with that, right, my boy? I guess so. Brilliant! It's true that disability always has all sorts of implications in society. Often nasty ones, but brushing things under the carpet won't help at all. I'm sure Sai will handle her side of the issue with delicacy. I've known her since art school, and she's most reliable. Why she's going so far for Rin's sake? Because it's you who asked? Oh, she has her own reasons too. Trust this old man, she's more kind-hearted than she looks. Ah, but don't let her know I said that. Food! Drink! How much longer is this thing gonna go on, the boy? He gives me a big wink and covers his mouth. Don't wink with that face. And covers his mouth with his hand as if to push the remark back in. Put your tongue back in, man. You creep me out. I remember the curious way Miss CNG, whatever, looked at Rin the entire time during our visit to the gallery. It was like that woman was trying to imprint everything about her into her memory. Or maybe it was that Rin reminded her of something else, like a bird chirping and chirping and chirping. And then not chirping. Nope, there he goes again. Prepare for the friggin' Namoya voice then. Mostly I simply adores young people with a passion for art. Her gallery specializes in this very thing, bringing up and-coming talent to the public. It's a perfect fit for someone like Tezuka. I don't even know if she really wants to become a career artist though, but I guess that'd be the logical next step. I don't have the faintest idea. Like they say, a teacher can only show the door. It's a student who has to walk through it. An old tired saying, but still quite true. He leaves to chat with a pair of second-year girls working on some watercolors. Even though he said that cliched thing, it seemed to me like Moya was trying to prod Rin through a certain door in particular. But I can't blame him for that. I literally shoved Rin towards that door with my speeches about wasting opportunities and whatnot. Moya feels like it's time for him to let Rin test her own wings. He has absolute confidence in this endeavor. I wonder why I can't shed the anxious feeling I have inside me. It shouldn't have anything to do with me. Maybe I'm just bothered by exactly that. I really don't have any part of this. I would like to be a part of Rin's life and a part of mine. Like friends should be. That's what she called us. I wonder what she really meant. I feel like I'm so far apart from her, even when I'm not. It's the same as with Rin and Emmy. I can't understand her. What am I for her? What do you want to do, Hisao? Check the walkthrough, you say? Well, we will do just that. I want to understand her. Why do I talk in such weird ways? In the end, even though we made friends with each other, and the birds always chirped at us, I don't really feel that we've gotten any closer. Well, apart from the hug, the kiss, and... yeah, that's actually the only thing that's really changed about that, isn't it? How could I call someone my friend if I can't understand her? Maya's boisterous laugh fills the quiet afternoon just as the club beat begins. He pats one of the girls on the back encouragingly. I think about all the things that have led me to this point. All the things I've shared with Rin during the few weeks I've been at Yamaku so far. I understand so very little in the end, but I'm sure of one thing. If I want to keep going what I have with Rin, I have to throw myself into whatever will come out of this expedition project along with her. I turn my gaze back at the blackness of the sketch and the never near invisible guiding lines the teacher drew over it. No pattern emerges, nothing that could take me further than I am. I put the graphite down on the table and think hard and honestly about what I really want. The next day, I take the bus into the city. It goes twice an hour, starting in the morning. For some reason, I thought it was twice an hour. That's not bad, I suppose. But in my head, I randomly thought it said, and twice a day. Just like, bloody hell, not many buses going through. But twice an hour, that isn't bad, I suppose. Starting in the morning, passing by the front gate of Yomaku at 20 minutes past and 10 to the hour. Why are we given this information? I don't know. The ride takes considerably longer than the one the Maya gave us in his car. I slowly read a book as the bus makes its rounds through the suburbs, pausing at almost every stop to pick up someone or let them out. You ever been on a bus and like so many people, you go through so many stops and people get on but people don't get off, then you're just like, surely the bus must be filled up at this point. Eventually we make it to the last stop of the city center. The city is fair sized, but not too large, and it seems too quiet. Quiet my ass! What's all this shit? You're like, that's not quiet, man. Nevertheless, I enjoy the atmosphere. Oh, it's so peaceful, so quiet. Oh, it's so quiet and wonderful. It's like Silent Hill. You know how it's called Silent Hill, but it's freaking noisy as shit for that damn radio. Despite being slightly directionally challenged, I find my way from the bus station to the gallery without too much effort, and soon I find myself staring at the big letters saying 22nd corner. Wonder if she's got an answer to that yet. Inside, the gallery owner is intently studying a large painting hanging on the wall, a portrait of an old man. Good afternoon. She turns around to look at me, and a smile of recognition spreads on her lips. Oh, aren't you the young man from the old days? Shinichi's student. Hisao, was it? That's right. Good afternoon, Miss Seiyunji. You have the same generic voice that I give to most female characters that are, like, I know, like, the other one I gave that voice to was Emmy's mother. It's just like certain characters get certain typical generic voices from me, while some get some more original voices, but usually it's just a generic kind of voice. Please just sigh. I don't want to feel any older than I am. I should really pause like that, please. No, even like that, it's like, if you didn't know that was her name, you're just like, please just sigh, be like, alright then. No, that's my name, you jackass! No, I'm so glad that even young people show interest in art nowadays. It's so refreshing. What brings you here? Surely you aren't just on a courtesy visit, all the way from your school. I actually came for Rin. I was hoping to see how she's doing. Oh, is that right? Well, then you need to step back outside. You see, still freaking hell. Looked up the pronunciation on that. You know, I'm gonna do that right now, actually. A moment. You know, anytime I use Google Translate to kind of like give an idea of how the pronunciation for a word is, I just like saying it in the same way, Atelier or something, Atelier or something, I don't know. So it's basically a workshop or a studio. It also had a bit of a definition there, but it seemed kind of obvious, really. So it's obviously, I knew that was something to do with art, but didn't know specifically a studio or workshop. The Atelier or whatever is actually at the next door on right down the street and up the stairwell. Just climb the stairs to the top floor. There's only one door there, you can't miss it. I give Sai my thanks, exit the gallery and locate the door she was talking about. It leads to a dark stairwell, which reminds me of the stairs leading to the roof of the school building. The stairs are steep, and even though it's only 5 floors, my breathing gets heavy before I reach the top. An unassuming wooden door waits for me there. It's unlocked, so I knock and enter. You know what? Stairwells like this, for some reason, well, it's not like it. I don't know, just randomly looking at this, actually reminds me of two things. Silent Hill and Clock Tower. Clock Tower being specifically the crappy Clock Tower 2 that had absolutely nothing to do with the original, and Silent Hill, just generally Silent Hill, like Silent Hill 2 or 3, you know, in the hospitals when you're just like going up those long ass stairways, just expect a nurse to just lunge out at Hisao any moment now. I've got to freaking check that freaking pronunciation again. But yeah, okay, it's finished panning, so a moment. Atelier. It doesn't even freaking sound any way to the way it's spelt. That's what I hate about words. So few words tend to be freaking spelt the way they're pronounced. The Atelier is I mean, Atelier. It makes it sound like it's got an A at the end. But it's only got an A at the beginning of the word. Atelier. I mean, it hasn't even got a Y, kind of like, with a pronunciation like that. I would have assumed, oh, maybe it's got a Y. No. It's pronounced 8 lie with an R at the end. What? 8 liar? No. Atelier. I've already forgotten it. So it's going to take a while to get used to some pronunciation on words like that. The Atelier is really just one big room with the ceiling lower at one end than the other because the roof of the building is gabbled. I'm not even sure if I pronounced that right. There is a huge skylight in the ceiling that acts as the main source of light for the room, bringing in sunlight that reflects off the white painted walls. I suppose it's good to use natural light for art. There isn't much in the way of interior decoration, no surprise since the room seems to have been used for storage for a while. You know, what is that? It looks like a kind of... I forget what they're called. Air vents, I think they are. Kinda looks like one. It has a perspective look to it. Neat. All kinds of boxes and office furniture are scattered around the place. The room is dusty since it's not been in use for a while. I can see that someone has made some effort to clean up a little, but it's far from immaculate. Rin stands in the middle of the room with her back to me, staring at a half-painted canvas placed on an easel. It's pronounced that way, right? Not working on it, just staring, unmoving. She wears what must be second or third hand denim overalls over the standard school uniform shirt, much like the one I'm wearing. They look pretty worn and are covered in paint splatters. From the way they seem to be loose or tight in places, I'm guessing that they weren't originally Rin's. Hi. Hello. Rin doesn't judge my showing up as worthy of turning around, saying maybe something more than just a mechanical reply to my greeting, smiling, anything. She keeps on doing whatever it is she's doing, probably some weird creative thing inside her head. Perhaps I should have expected as much, still I make another attempt at conversation. It's a pretty cool place, big too. You know, for some reason, when I saw that, I'd like thought that said bro instead of two, so he'd be like, it's a pretty cool place. Big, bro. I don't know. That's just stupid. It is, I said I can use this as much as I like. I even have my own key. So, how's the work going? She doesn't answer for a while. I begin to wonder if she's already forgotten the question. As a cloud drifts over the building, shadowing the light pouring in from the skylight, the change in Rin's surroundings seems to wake her up. I don't know, it's like a huge ball. I don't really know which side is the right one. It's really huge, the hugest thing ever. Like a mountain grown inside of me, like I swallowed a mountain whole. It's going to be hard, I think, really very hard. I try to listen for undercurrents of stress or uncertainty in her voice, but I don't pick up anything like that. Why are you here? Her tone is not as unkind as the directness of the question would make it seem. Well, you said that it'd be fine if I come to visit, so here I am. I guess it's not for any real reason, but I thought you might like company or assistance or maybe some... Hisao, can you be quiet for about 15 minutes? Maybe 10 is enough. 5 definitely is not. You can talk afterwards. Her tone is sharp, nothing like I've ever heard from her before. There's no command, no annoyance, no anger, but her voice pierces me all the same. All right. We have the silence that falls. Anxiety creeps back into my heart. I wonder if it was a mistake to come here. Murmurs of traffic filter in from outside, and I start to feel more and more uncomfortable. All my thoughts keep finding themselves returning to certain things that have been swirling relentlessly in the back of my mind for some time now. Oh, I know that feeling all so well, and I hate it so. I feel like those thoughts will surface out of the tempestuous sea of my mind, whether I want it or not. Desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Ren's back as my mind races. For some reason, again, when you glancing through while reading the dialogue, sometimes you'll see it as something else before you focus enough on it. So it felt like it was desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Rin's back ass. But, well, you never know, he might be staring at her ass. I don't think I've ever studied anyone's back so intently before. He totally is, man. He's totally staring at her ass. Her neck hidden by copper-colored hair, which is again in complete disarray. That relaxed yet rigid posture, reminding me that Rin's physical appearance often tends to be as awkward as her various trains of thought. Those gaunt, delicate shoulder blades visible through the thin white fabric of her shirt. The contours of her hips curving down to her thin thighs. It pisses me off. Rarely does she ever seem to be looking at me, well, literally or figuratively. I, on the other hand, listening to jazz or something, I'm not sure of the genre because I'm crap at recognizing genre. I'm just saying, going over in his mind, going, I'm always watching her back, but literally and figuratively. Whenever she is painting, whenever something catches her fluttering attention, whenever I don't forcefully make her listen to me, I can't reach for her. Rin's heart is uncharted territory, dangerous waters, the blank areas on a map. The edge of the world. If I went too close, I wonder if I would fall off. What do I think of her? Sometimes she's aloof from distance, and it annoys me. But other times her passion for the things she thinks worthwhile shines through, and it inspires me. This music, I'm just going back and forth in my chair because it's one of those, spinning chairs, and I just picture if I just Hisao just wearing a hat or something like that, and just having a cigar or just a normal cigarette, just sometimes she's so aloof and distant, and it annoys me, and stuff like that. Next line of dialogue. Well, it's not actual spoken dialogue, but still, I can't understand her. Still, I like her and consider her my friend. I suppose part of friendship is putting up with the oddities of the people you call friends. I have to admit there is a lot of putting up with Rin. What does she think of me? I have no idea. Last week, I thought she might have liked me romantically, what with the kiss and all. It forced me to ponder my own feelings too. This week, I'm utterly confused. What would she do if I told her I liked her that way? I wonder if I really do. Damn, I can't make sense even with my own thoughts anymore. And that'd be the point where if he was smoking a cigarette, he'd be putting out, he's like, damn, I can't make sense of it. It must be contagious. Even if I said a thing like that, would it matter? Nothing affects Rin. Nothing. So you think. But who really knows, other than Rin herself? And even then, does she really know? I don't know. It'd be funny if she actually said that line right at the end of all that. Just you don't know what. I'm done.